Hey, welcome to another episode of FullDroopTV. In our last episode, you saw us install an air raid intake on our little V6 Ranger here. And we wanted to give you a quick update and let you know that we see a significant increase in throttle response just while driving around. We don't happen to have a dyno access or anything like that, but just going by what we feel, we can tell there's been an increase in horsepower. We also noticed that at highway speeds, we're running about 250 RPM less than what we were before. So if you want to add power to any truck that you guys have, call Air Raid today. Owning a Prerunner for a while, you probably already have a few things fabricated, like we have here with our Prerunner bumper. And at last year's SEMA show, we stopped by the KC Hilites booth and got a set of their laser LEDs. These are housed in their KC pods. It has a polycarbonate front. And if you notice, they're quite a bit bigger than our HIDs that we have. So there's no way that they're going to fit under this hoop that we already have built. So we brought Austin back so he can do a little more fabrication for us. How you doing, Austin?
Pretty good. How are you?
Good.
Well, what we're going to do, we're going to utilize these tabs that you already have on the bumper to mount the new laser LEDs. But we're going to cut this whole top section off as well as these side tubes and redo the entire top structure of the bumper.
Nice. All right. Well, let's get started.
Now that we've got our KC lights mounted to the bumper structure, we're going to bend the tubes that run up and over the front to protect the lights, and then we're going to bend two outer tubes that go down to the outsides of the bumper. So we'll get started on that fabrication. We're making a rough cut with the plasma cutter, just cutting the tube to length and notching it. Then we'll come back with a grinder using a flap wheel and actually sand down and fit it correctly to the tube. We've got our tube notched and mocked in place. As you can see, the overlap of the tube from where the old bumper was that we cut off, it's overlapping onto the powder coat, and we need to remove that powder coat so we can get good penetration when we weld. So we're going to go ahead and grind this down and get it ready to be tacked in place. Now that we've got the center hoop structure in place, we're going to bend two tubes that run out to beyond the turn signal and back down to the lower section of the bumper. That'll keep the whole grill, headlight area, everything protected from brush or trees, anything we might run into when we're out on the trail.
A friend of mine just bought his first Prerunner. It's got a fabricated bumper like we have here with no paint and no powder coat, and he's got a bit of rust on it. He didn't know how to get rid of it, and I told him there's an easy solution for that. Just grab a can of WD-40 and a little scuff pad, and that's all you'll need. You spray a little WD-40 on the scuff pad, and you'll see we've got rust right here. We just go in the same direction that the metal is, and you can start to see that it's kind of dissolving, but there's a little bit of residue there. So the next thing we got to do is we get an old rag, wipe it down, and no more rust. So if you've got rust on any raw metal on your Prerunner, grab a can of WD-40 and show that rust who's boss. Now we got our KC Hilites laser LEDs installed, and you might be asking yourself, why would we go through the work of changing out our bumper just to get these lights to fit? Well, it's for good reason. A few years ago, we tested a set of 20-inch LED light bars, and they were from another manufacturer. We put them up against our KC Hilites HIDs that we already had. Now, the LEDs did produce a lot of light, but they really didn't match the range we were getting with our HIDs. So we didn't really see the benefit. And that's where KC Hilites did their homework. They took their KC pods that they already manufacture for their HIDs, and they stuck two 17-watt high-power LEDs inside. So you get all the benefits of an LED, and you also get the range that you would expect from an HID. Now, if you were to go and buy a set of halogen off-road lights, those could run you 80 watts a piece, and you're still not going to get the range that you'd get from these KC Hilites laser LEDs. And if you would like more information on these LEDs, please visit FullDroopTV. Now we're going to head out to the desert to show you just how far the range is on these new laser LEDs from KC Hilites. The light you're seeing right now is from our factory Ford Ranger headlights. Notice the range of these new KC Hilites laser LEDs. They'll match the range of any HID that's out on the market today. And that does it for another episode of FullDroopTV. Be sure to subscribe because we have some really exciting news to share with you in the near future, and it has the word television in it. So until next time, we'll see you in the dirt. He asked me if I knew a way to say this a little more smoothly. Laser LED highlight.
Ready? All right.
Sure?
Yep. Sure.
Be picking your nose and being able to see it from a mile away.